smell of football is in the air, and here we are at the Sports Box with the only opinion that matters. You got it right. Here it comes. Right here, baby.
Feel good?
I feel freaking great right now. I feel great. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger Retard, who may not survive this episode. But in any case, we're going to start and sit like we always do. So the people out there to listen to our advice, you should be freaking happy right now. So anyway, let's get to it, Brian, because I'm excited and I'm fired up.
I might start a GoFundMe for disability insurance.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you might have to. I'm fired up today. I'm fired up. Let's go. Start quarterback. Going to go out on a limb this week. I'm going to say start Colin Kaepernick. That's right. Come sit with Colin Kaepernick this week. They're playing the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. He's had an extra week to practice.
Actually, San Francisco.
He's in San Francisco, like I said. They're having an extra week to practice. Okay, he's a little bit more with the offense. I'm telling you, I know you people think I'm nuts, but he's going to run for some yardage. The Saints have the worst run defense and pass defense in the league. You got to start Colin Kaepernick.
I'm going to go on a really big limb here. I'm going to start Aaron Rodgers against the Colts. So, Rodgers has had an up and down year. I don't think he's really performed necessarily consistently as you would have drafted him. But, and also the lack of a running game now is really putting a lot of pressure on him to throw more downfield. It should pay dividends for his owners in fantasy. You did draft him. He's likely your best option. This is going to be a pretty high-scoring game with the Colts. It's the poorest Colts defense. I just think Rodgers gets... I think he gets at least 3 touchdowns in this game.
I like the pick. So if you have Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, start Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah, because Tom Brady's not playing this week.
Oh, good point.
You could actually start Colin Kaepernick over Tom Brady.
You could. That's why I got him in there. That's right. That's right, folks. So we're going to sit Derek Carr this week. Yeah, folks, Derek Carr beat my Buccaneers last week, and I'm pretty disgusted about it. Has a friggin' team have 23 friggin' penalties and lose it and win a game. It's unbelievable. Derek Carr did throw for 549 yards this week. Whole different animal this week. He's going into Denver, where teams have beat Denver. Atlanta's taken them apart. Some other teams have done that. I don't think it's in the cards for Derek Carr. I think it's kind of a down week after a big week. I think you sit Derek Carr.
Speaking of tough road games, I'm sitting Tyrod Taylor this week against Seattle. The Seahawks, as you probably can imagine, are not giving up a whole lot at home to opposing quarterbacks. Buffalo's in a tough spot again. They're really still without a reliable receiver. Who knows if Sammy Watkins ever sees the field again this year. I think Taylor's played admirably well given his situation, but Seattle's not a place that you should have confidence playing him. I'm sitting Tyrod Taylor this week.
Running back-wise, I am starting Christian Michael home against Buffalo this week. Russell Wilson's not the same. He is not 100%. He is not healthy. You saw that last week when he should have tore up the Saints last week, but he struggled to move the ball down the field occasionally. I think it's going to be a running attack that Seattle goes. He's been playing well. He's not losing the job to Rawls when Rawls comes back, so you got to keep starting Michael.
The Saints defense is a very common theme on the Sports Box, and I'm starting Carlos Hyde this week
for whatever reason
against that same Saints defense. So, Hyde appears to be on track to be back and healthy this week. He has a very juicy matchup with the aforementioned Saints defense. They've allowed 13 touchdowns to opposing running backs this year. I expect a huge game from Carlos Hyde.
You think juicy? Ooh. I like the vocab here sometimes. It's beautiful. I'm going to sit Theo Riddick this week at Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota the last 2 games has not played well. They lost to the Bears for crying out loud on Monday night. But you know what? Trap game, division game, not worried about it. Even if North Turner jumped ship today and left.
That was surprising.
That was very surprising. But you know what? How does the 5-team 2-loser offensive coordinator? Resigned, by the way. But in any sense, I think Theo Riddick is going to struggle against Minnesota. Minnesota at home, going to get a little home cooking, back to earth. That defense is still good, folks. Even though they've lost 2, that defense is still for real. Don't start Theo Riddick.
And you mentioned good defenses. I want to sit Latavius Murray against Denver. And he's a guy who... A lot of questions. People like him, people don't. He had a really dismal game last week against your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's got a road game in the unfriendly confines of Mile High Stadium against the league's best defense, staring him in the face. Not a week that you want to put Latavius Murray out there, especially if you need a win. You got to look elsewhere. Don't roll the dice with Murray this week.
Starting wide receiver, I'm going to start Jarvis Landry home against the Jets this week. The Jets are a mess, offensively and defensively. You know what? Miami's not lighting up either. But in this game, I think he's going to be able to get a little bit of separation. Let's face it, Reeves is not the same. He hasn't been the same since he came back this year. Father Time could be catching up to him. I think you got to go with Jarvis Landry this week.
Reeves Island's very populated.
It is.
Flights coming in and out.
Yeah, it's going to sink soon, too.
Wide receiver I love this week is Donte Moncrief against the Packers. There is some speculation that T.Y. Hilton may not play in the game, and that would make Moncrief the top option for the pass-happy Colts with Andrew Luck. This should be a high-scoring game. You're going to see a lot of points scored. You're going to want to make sure Moncrief's in your lineup, even if Hilton is out. But if Hilton is in, but if Hilton is out, This guy could go nuts.
If you don't have Moncrief, get him in your lineup somehow.
Find a way to trade for Moncrief this week and figure it out later.
Right now, get him.
Love him.
Right.
Love him this week.
And I'm going to sit Allen Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars in Kansas City this week. You know what? Jacksonville's got issues. Bortles is not having a good year because he has no time to throw anything. Kansas City's a good defensive team. I mean, they got a good secondary back there. And especially at home, Kansas City is a tough team. Jacksonville not doing it for me this year. Sorry, Princeton, but got to sit Allen Robinson.
I don't think he holds it against you. I think
he'd probably tell me to sit him.
I'm going to sit Marvin Jones this week against those Minnesota Vikings. So, you know, Mike, as you mentioned, they're looking to avenge 2 straight losses here. You got to think the defense is going to play better this week against the Lions than it did. And, you know, Jones is bound to disappoint owners. If you look at his stats the past couple of weeks, he's got about 248 yards over his last 5 games. Those are not numbers you can really count on. So if he gets 50 yards again, doesn't get in the end zone, that's going to be a bust for you. I would look elsewhere for Marvin Jones this week. Tight
end, we just keep going back to this game. I'm starting Jack Doyle of the Indianapolis Colts. This is a pass-happy offense, and here's a guy who can get underneath and get open. Dwayne Allen, I think, will miss another game. If not, he'll be a game-time decision. So you Jack Doyle in your line. I mean, Green Bay's secondary is awful right now. They're a mess. They have issues. The linebackers aren't that good. Sorry, Clay Matthews, but they're not having good years. Jack Doyle's finding a way to get open and score. Get him in your lineup.
He's just going to score touchdowns.
That's all he does.
Jesse James, a better quarterback right
now. There you go.
My tight end start of the week is Antonio Gates against the Titans. So, past couple of weeks I've shown you that Gates is probably the #1 again. I think he's supplanted Hunter Henry again as the top tight end option for the Chargers. The Titans are allowing double-digit fantasy points to tight ends over the past 4 weeks, and you know Rivers is going to look Gates' way in the end zone. It might be a game where Gates gets in the end zone twice. I love Gates this week.
Did Gates get Medicare, or is he still?
He actually, I think, a Social Security application. Yeah, it's still in the mail.
Good.
Still getting it done, though.
Still getting it done. I'm going to sit Dennis Pitta this week, even though they're home playing those Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, Dennis Pitta, a couple weeks, he's been getting some targets here and there, but you know, I don't see him moving the ball that well against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a team that the linebackers are very good. They stay underneath. They don't allow the tight ends a lot of play at all. I think you sit Dennis Pitta this week.
I want no part of Julius Thomas this week in Kansas City. You know, we've said it before for a couple of sits actually on the show today. Yeah. The Jags' offense is an absolute mess, and a matchup with the Chiefs and Arrowhead is not where you want to go. Unless he gets a touchdown here, it could be a huge bust. You know, you have the potential for garbage time like last week in Tennessee, but that's just not something I want to take a chance on. I'm going to sit Julius Thomas.
My 2 kickers sit this week, even though Brian loves starting.
I start your kicker, sit the other guy.
I have no parts of this. I'm going to start Blair Walsh, even though I said Minnesota's defense is coming back to earth. Their offense still hasn't gotten on track yet, but I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. It's going to be a field goal war. Blair Walsh still a good kicker. And for sitting, I'm going to say Dan Carpenter. I mean, that game's going to be back and forth as well. But here's a guy who hasn't played that well, hasn't kicked a lot of far field goals. So, starting defense, I'm going to start those San Francisco 49ers. Oh God, I might regret this, but they're playing the god awful Saints, folks, and the Saints are god awful. Even though Breeze is throwing yardage, and yeah, they might have almost won the game against Atlanta the other day. This team, you know, they're just horrific on defense. I'm going to start the Niners get some turnovers. That's right, I said the Niners.
I respectfully disagree with your assessment.
There, the light's on. So.
But what I'll do is I'll start the Kansas City Chiefs against the Jaguars because again, Jags are a mess. You might see Boodle throw a couple pick sixes in this game. I love the Chiefs this week.
I'm gonna sit those Green Bay Packers this week. You know, they're playing the Colts, pass happy offense. Secondary's gonna get exposed. Yeah, I know they're in Green Bay. Lambeau isn't the same anymore. At least this year it isn't. I said sit the Packers.
So everything you just said, I want you to replace Packers with Colts, and that's mine.
Wow.
Because I'm sitting the Colts against the Green Bay Packers for the same exact reason. This is going to be a high-scoring game with 2 pass-happy offenses. Yep. You know, again, first of all, you don't need probably to tell you to sit the Colts defense because they're not very good. No. Especially in a game like this, if you have to start the Colts, just start no defense. You know what? If your league gives negative points for defense, just don't start one. Don't start the Colts. Just go with it. Just play. Just roll the dice.
Just let them sit this week. Get healthy.
You know what? Just take a week off. You know, they're on vacation. Not a good start.
You got to get your team healthy for the playoffs.
Both these, that over is going to hit. I don't know what the over is. That over is going to hit.
I think that's 97.
It's probably might hit that though.
Might hit 100. Yeah, I believe it. That's all the time we have for the Sports Box. We want to thank our listeners. Do we want to thank them? Well, yeah, of course we want to thank you because you subscribe. If you have subscribed, hit the damn button. But remember, we always got good stuff coming.
And of course, the good stuff's on Twitter at SportsBox Show. You can email us at thesportsboxshow@gmail.com. You can like us on Facebook, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Many different ways to get in contact with us. Don't be a stranger.
It only takes 5 minutes to do all that, like you just said. And remember,
not even that.
No.
Not in this day and age.
Wow. Well, I'm a little old, so that's not that old. But anyway, thanks for watching the Sports Box. Remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters is right here. Thanks for watching, folks. See ya.
Don't forget to subscribe.